subscribe to the channel, and you'll find love. Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. My name is Grand Fleet. Today we have another video specifically talking about, and let me just see if I can get this without anything falling. Zoro! Zoro, look at him, he's all cool and stuff. I don't know what this intro is. Anyway, hi guys, welcome to another video. How's your day been? Has your day been okay? Now, my hood was down before this video started. That's why I kind of look like I have really weird tendrils just appearing out of my hood. That is my hair for people that are not from this planet. But I just got back from the gym, took a shower, and my hair is all fuzzy and I don't really want to show it off. So this is what you're going to get. But anyway, today we have a theory. Yeah, a theory. I haven't done a theory in a while. Today's video is going to be about Zoro, and known in Wano currently because we are in the Wano arc, and specifically Zoro's swords. Now, I'm going to talk about his 3 swords he currently is using, and the swords he used to use. Now, I think I can remember all of them. I've read a crap ton of One Piece. Actually, I've read so much One Piece that I think these volumes came yesterday or before yesterday. I can't remember, and that might seem bad, and it is, but I can't remember when these volumes exactly came, but I got my favorite volume that I've been wanting to get for so long now, and that is the Water 7 Luffy, my favorite cover, by far. There's no other cover. The only other cover that rivals this is the volume where, I can't remember, it's the volume where Luffy is on Amazon Lily, and there's like, he's walking on the snakes, and it looks like a rainbow. That's maybe the only one that is right next to it, or maybe slightly above it, but this is an amazing cover. And I also got a Skypiea volume where, if you guys didn't know my channel, I love Skypiea. Way before Wano, way before the references made me appreciate it more, which it did, of course, because Wano definitely made me appreciate this thing more because of how the references, and of course Sun God Nika, Luffy himself, right? Luffy is the Sun God, and this foreshadowed it. But no, I always liked Skypiea. I've always loved Enel. Yeah, he's a shallow villain compared to Crocodile, and I love Crocodile more. But yeah, my favorite devil fruit by far is Nels, and you know, I just love this volume 30. I also love the cover. Yeah, I also got this imported from Japan because I could not find one here that didn't have the Zolo name, because Viz has Zolo instead of Zoro. Because now I'm gonna name the swords he has currently, and what I think is gonna happen with them, and my theory. And today we're gonna be talking about black blades. Now, if you don't know what a black blade is, a black blade, actually most of the One Piece community do not know what a black blade is currently, because a black blade is a special blade. It's a blade that only the best of the best swordsmen can attain. Of course, Mihawk has a black blade because his blade Yoru, which literally translates to night, or well, you can interpret that as the night sky, or the night's like an actual night, but I interpret it as the night sky due to it being completely black. And the sword turned black because of Haki. The only thing we know about black blades is that they're forged with Haki, because Mihawk told this to Zoro in a flashback when we were in Dressrosa. It was flashing back to only black blades can be forged with Haki. This is the only way to make a black blade. The only reason is that we don't know how. We don't know how. Is it because if you fight with Haki for so long, your blade matures enough to the point where if you imbue enough Haki into it, it turns into a black blade? I don't think it's that. I'll tell you what I actually think it is. Moving on, now that we got the black blade thing. But now Zoro's swords that he currently uses, that this actually does have, because this is his Wano thing, it is Yubashiri. Yubashiri, his old sword, my bad, I'm so sorry. I went on this whole tangent. Before the video, I kept telling myself, don't say Yubashiri, because Yubashiri is one of my favorite swords. But it's not Yubashiri. So yeah, he has the Sanbai Kitetsu, which is one of the 3 weakest Kitetsu swords, but still a cursed sword and really powerful. Like, weakest in terms of comparing to the other Kitetsus, but it's it's a really powerful cursed sword. To the point where Zoro had to tame it, and it got tamed. And Zoro also recently got his 2nd sword, Enma, the one where he got from Wano, where currently right now in Wano, in the anime, he is handling the sword well. It seems that the sword and him are on a mutual playing field. Like, they understand each other enough, but it's not Zoro towering over the sword, which Zoro, that is his goal, similar to the Sanbai Kitetsu, which is a cursed sword. He wants to level Enma. He doesn't want to be on the same page with Enma because it's a contract deal. It's like Enma takes Haki. If Enma takes enough away and Zoro loses all his strength, that's not Enma's fault. Zoro's the problem. He died because he didn't pay attention. So they're on a level playing field. But once Zoro gets above Enma, that's when he will truly master the Enma sword, like he did with the Sandai. And then his third sword, the most common one, and the one he's had ever since the start of the story, because Sandai Kitetsu, and the Enma he recently got. Sandai, it's been a while. He's had it for over 2 years now. I think he got it pre-time skip, right? I'm gonna say, yeah, he did. I don't know why yeah, he did. The Sandai Kitetsu, it's safe to say that it won't break. It might, and he might replace it, but that's not what we're here to talk about. The Sandai Kitetsu, he's had it for a while. The Enma, he recently got it in Wano. But the Yubashiri, I keep saying the Yubashiri, man. The Wado Ichimonji, that is the third sword that Zoro uses. Now the Wado, unlike the Enma and Sandai, is not a special sword. Well, it's not special in the sense of it has a past, or it's a cursed sword, or it is towering over Zoro, or Zoro's trying to tower over it. It's just a regular sword, at least to our knowledge. And for this theory, I'm going to need it to be a regular sword, and I think it is one. Of course, it's not regular in terms of it's a weak-minded sword, because in One Piece, and for all the new One Piece viewers, One Piece swords are sentient, kind of. They have their own will, similar to Devil Fruits, which have been confirmed to have their own will, especially zones. Katanas, any type of blade, well, mostly katana, we haven't really seen other blades have sentient life forms other than Big Mom's thing, but that was with her homies usage, so it's not the same thing. But similar to when Zoro first got the cursed sword in Locktown, and he was like, I'm going to test my luck. He threw it up in the air, put his arm out, and then it slowly slid off, and it almost hit him. That is Zoro proving to that sword that I'm not a bitch. I am going to be your master. And that's what he did until it got broken, unfortunately, by Shu in Water 7, which is the volume I have it right there. I actually like Yubashiri. It was a good sword. It wasn't the best design. It actually was very similar to the Wado, except for the sheath, which was a bit more dull in color compared to the Wado, which is just white and beige. But the Yubashiri was just beige. Now, the Wado Ichimonji was given to Zoro by Shimotsuki. Well, was this confirmed in the manga? I can't remember. Was it? But when he was in his village, he was raised by... Well, he was raised by himself, technically, Zoro. He raised himself because we don't know his situation with his parents. Don't know what happened to them. And people are assuming that, oh, Zoro's parents are from Wano, and something happened that Zoro... and yeah, we're not here really talk about that, but Zoro kind of raised himself. And then a guy in the village that had a daughter named Kuina had a dojo, and Zoro wanted to learn at that dojo martial arts, well, not more sword styles. And first he started with one sword, but then he was so ecstatic and wanted to be the greatest swordsman in the whole entire place, and he wanted to beat Kuina, which was the dojo owner's daughter, and so badly because teasing kids do this a lot. So Zoro was so overwhelmed. He's like, oh, fine, you hold one sword, I'll hold two. Hell, I'll do you one better. I'll hold three. Where are you going to put the third one? In my ass cheeks. No, he's not now. Yeah, that's a really funny meme. That's one of my favorite memes in One Piece, period. I don't care, but I love the meme where Zoro's like, where do you think my eighth sword is? It's in my ass cheeks. No, yeah, it's an amazing meme thing. But yeah, Zoro has his sword in his mouth, and he's like, I'm going to train with these swords, and I'm going to beat anyone I see. Of course, he kept to his promise. Look at where Zoro is right now on Egghead and Wano in the anime. It's insane. But yeah, that's where he got the Wado. So Zoro has three very significant swords in their own right, with the Sandai being a cursed sword that Zoro had to tame, which is a sword he's already overcome the problem with, but he's just making stronger currently. But of course, Zoro has already towered over the Sandai by saying, yeah, you are no match for me. Because the Sandai Kitetsu is one of the lowest ranked Kitetsus. Then we have the Is it the Nidai Kitetsu? It is the sword that we saw with the Tengu guy. Uh, I'm just gonna call him Tengu. That saved Tama when Luffy was first got to Wano. He had the second version of the Kitetsu. I think it's called the Nidai Kitetsu, but I'm not gonna say that. It's the second Kitetsu. It is the second strongest, and then we have the Shodai Kitetsu, which is supposed to be one of the highest ranked Kitetsu. A Saijo Owazamono sword, which is supposed to be a Saijo Owazamono is a high-ranking sword. Now, something to add is a black blade. For example, let's say Zoro turns a regular ass sword. He picks up a random sword, turns it into a black blade. Of course, not going to happen because I don't think that's how black blades are turned. I will explain in a minute how I think Zoro will turn a specific sword he owns into a black blade. Now, black blades usually, if you turn a random sword into a black blade, apparently it automatically becomes a Saijo Owazamono sword. That's what people were thinking he would do against King in Wano, where, because he was versing him and he was like, I'm going to be the king of hell. And then, of course, he dominated him eventually and ended up beating him with Conqueror's Haki and, Conqueror's coding, on it because he didn't really know what he was doing, but he was doing something and he was beating him. And when he said that, people were like, oh, this is when Enma turns into a black blade, and then Enma goes from being whatever rank it is now to a Saijo Owazamono, and that's how Zoro becomes as infamous as Mihawk. Of course, not currently, but soon in the story, 5 years down the line when Oda ends the manga or something. Yeah. But apparently that's not what happened. I didn't think it would happen because it kind of felt cheap. Like the Sandai was with him all this time, and he kind of just turned Enma into a black blade like after a couple of chapters. And don't get me wrong, a couple of chapters for us was 4 years. That's like a crap ton of chapters for 4 years of Wano. When did Whole Calendar? 888 plus Reverie. It'd be from, let's round it up to chapter 900 to now. That's a lot of chapters. But in a couple of chapters, basically, in real time in the story, Zoro makes Enma a black blade. Come on, that'd be kind of cheap. We want to see him really earn the black blade status, even though it's going to be taking a while. We want to see him earn the black blade status. Now, this theory only works if Zoro makes one of his swords a black blade. Now, there is a theory out there where Zoro will turn all of his swords into black blades, but for this theory to work, Zoro's going to have to make one of his swords a black blade. Now, let me just say the possibility on if Zoro could make 3 of his swords black blades. Now, it is a cool plot point because, Oda could do the thing where Mihawk is so strong. Like, even in the recent chapters of Egghead, spoilers, by the way, like Zoro stated when he clashed with S-Hawk, which is the Seraphim version of Mihawk, he said, you are, at least you have some humanity, implying that Mihawk, the actual one, doesn't. He doesn't care. Which is somewhat true. Of course, we don't know that for sure, but, it's been stated by Zoro, a person that was trained under Mihawk for 2 whole years, so it's kind of implied. Now, of course, it could be used as a plot point that since Mihawk has no humanity, he's so strong that Zoro will make all 3 of his swords black blades, and that's how Mihawk's 1 black blade will lose to him. Because, Yoru could be really powerful and because of the black blade and Mihawk's Haki, but with Zoro's 3 black blades, it trumps over that sword. Now, he could do that, or he could go the route of what I think would be better, because it'd be more impactful. Be more impactful to the story. It would also tie in. Now, here's why, and I know this is very controversial. I don't think he will make Enma a black blade or Sandai. Sandai is not really controversial because Sandai is one of those swords where it's kind of like, it's a really cool sword, but it's kind of now overshadowed with the Shisui, but after Shisui left, Enma definitely overshadowed the Sandai by a crap ton. So the Sandai is just there as a sword that looks really cool. That's actually one of my favorite sword looks other than Shisui, and that's why I have Shisui up here and not a Sandai. I'm thinking of getting the Nidai Kitetsu, which I think that's what the second rank Kitetsu is called, or the Sandai next, because it is one of my favorite looking swords that Zoro's ever owned. Of course, not like the Yubashiri, because I just like Yubashiri as the name, Yubashiri. and also as a concept of being a cursed sword. But off topic. Now, let me tell you why I don't think Zoro will make Enma a Black Blade. Now, here's my thing. Zoro is supposed to become the greatest swordsman of all time. And Zoro has this dream for two reasons. He has this dream because of Kuina. She wanted to become a swordsman, but because of her being a woman, and by the way, for non-One Piece watchers, I don't know why you're watching this video, but for non-One Piece watchers, I'm not saying women can't become swordsmen. We see women in this story already become swordsmen, like Tashigi is one, and she's definitely not as good as Zoro. People can, all Tashigi fans can go, no, she's not. Unfortunately, she is not. But she is a very good swordsman. We saw what she could do against Monet and Punk Hazard, which means she is already a very top tier swordsman, at least on a like Punk Hazard Zoro level probably by now, where Zoro is way high above. But you know, the reason she said this was due to an illness of some sort. Oda didn't really specify. There are theories where she literally just herself like completely because she was depressed, and some theories where she fell down the stairs, and it's a really sad story if you think about it. Like if you really look into it, it's really depressing because her whole thing was, I can't become a swordsman like you or my father. Oh, my father was, because he's old now. I can't become a swordsman like you want to be or my father wants to be, because eventually when Zoro gets older, it's puberty, he grows some muscle, like he'll be able to overpower Kuina. So she's like, it's kind of hopeless for me, and she ended up dying by either falling down the stairs or herself. It's a really weird theory. You can go look it up. Reddit has a crap ton of theories, and for once, I don't go on Reddit much, but when it comes to One Piece theories, they're really fun to read. I suggest you go do that, or just online in general, but Reddit's mostly where you go to. There's also theories that, those are the main two. I was gonna mention more, but there's just no point. Now, Oda, the goated foreshadower, or just kind of like hinting that because Kuina said she's a woman, she can't really do what boys can when it comes to swordsmanship. He did tie this back into Wano with Okiku, or just Kiku, because if you know who Okiku is, she's one of the 9 scabbards. And at the start of the story, when we meet her, she has this, she doesn't want to show her katana. She's like, I'm not a swordsman, I'm a normal woman. But she's she's taller than Zoro, and Zoro's pretty freaking tall. She's like, is she the height of Jinbei? I don't know, maybe she is. I'll look it up after this video, but and probably edit it in like, no she isn't, or yes she is. But Okiku, she's pretty big and she's pretty powerful. But her nature was to hide it, because in the Wano country, or the religion there, when women are samurai, it just makes no sense. So this is why everyone thinks that Zoro, where he came from, and this dojo in the East Blue, which is actually called Shimotsuki Village, it's very implied. Oda's like, this is sprinkles, enjoy until I reveal. Like, oh god, Oda, you're just cock teasing us till the end of One Piece, aren't you? That's how you make a good author, though, right? So, that's why people think that Zoro is from the Shimotsuki clan and he's related to Ryuma, or he's related to Odin or something like that. So yeah, but besides all that, he wants to become the greatest swordsman. And I went on a whole rant about that just now. You just heard me say it. He wants to become the greatest swordsman because of Kuina. He also wants to become the greatest swordsman to show everyone where he came from. Like, he was this regular bounty hunter, and now he is the vice captain of a Yonko crew, and he really cares for his captain. Of course he cares about his crew, but I don't know why, but I just find it weird. Of course I know that the whole crew, he likes the whole crew, he loves them all. But when it comes to Luffy, I just feel like Zoro gives so much shit about Luffy. He likes that guy so much. Think about it. Everyone calls Luffy captain, and when there's moments, Nami will call him a captain, Frankie will call him a captain. But Zoro is always there to point it into the enemy's face and say, no, sir. Or woman. It's 2023 after all. Our captain will be Pirate King. Yours won't. Suck it, loser. Like, he always has to emphasize it, and that's why Zoro is a fan favorite amongst characters in One Piece. But yeah, another tangent done. What's that, like the 4th or the 3rd one? Maybe even higher. But Zoro, he wants to become the greatest swordsman, right? For those reasons. Now, Enma was held by Odin. Now, Odin has had Enma for a long, long time. Odin was over 30. He was definitely over, I don't know if he was over 40 maybe. I don't know about the characters. This video was kind of just like a turn on the camera, speak my mind. Because I just had this theory. Like, I was in the gym and I was listening to Playboi Carti's new song. It was remixed and Zoro was over it. And it's really, really cool. And I was thinking of a theory about his 3 swords. Now, the Enma was held by Odin for definitely over 20 years. And Odin had incredible hockey. He had incredible hockey. Maybe Odin did not know what a black blade was. Maybe he just didn't really care. And he probably didn't because he just wanted to explore Wano. He wasn't focusing on enhancing his sword. No, he just wanted to explore. And when he did, he probably trained, but he didn't train hard enough to get a black blade. But if having a black blade and making one is what I think it is, it kind of be weird if Zoro got Enma as a black blade instead of another one of his blades, which I'll talk about later. You probably already know which one it is, but I'll talk about it in a minute. So Zoro has the has a Enma right now, and it's been held by Odin for over 20 years, and he has put all of his hockey into it. Odin, he's used it countless times. He's definitely towered over Enma. It's just they were not on the same terms. He knew, like, Enma, I will give you my hockey when I tell you. Like, he is the boss, and that's what Zoro's striving to achieve, but in an even better way. So, of course, Enma can turn into a black blade. If Odin tried, I think he could do it. I just don't think he was paying attention to it, and that's why he didn't end up getting a black blade. But if Zoro got a black blade now, that sword was Odin's, and yeah, it was passed down to him. But it's kind of the same thing with Shisui. Now, I know people are going to get angry, but this is my theory, and if you can disagree in the comments and write your own things, and I will respond. If I don't respond, then I don't know, I don't respond, but I will like comments. I will conversate with you down there. Please give me your opinions. But Shisui was given away because, of course, it was the prize item for Wano because, of course, Shimotsuki Ryuma was the sword god, a guy that saved Wano from a dragon and sliced him in half like it was nothing. Check out Monster, by the way. It's not canon, but it is very similar to what Wano, I just went on another tangent, but check out Monsters. It's a really good one-shot by Oda. They wanted Shisui back, but there was another reason why Zoro accepted, and that is because he didn't work for Shisui like, for example, Ryuma did. Ryuma had Shisui as a regular sword once, probably, and he turned it into a black blade. Zoro did not do that. Zoro thought about it when he first got Enma, and he was like, you know what, now that I think about it, I never, did anything with Shisui. Shisui, yeah, I used it to fight, and I made it stronger, definitely. But Shimotsuki Ryuma is the person that made it a black blade. So what does Zoro do? He listens and gives the sword back and says, give me Enma, I'll master that and turn it into a black blade. Now what I think is going to happen is Enma won't turn into a black blade, like I said, because Odin had it and imbued his haki into it. And he had some sort of connection with the sword. Definitely because he towered over it. And Zoro also is gaining connection with the sword, being on some sort of a middle playing field with it. Kind of clashing, like, no, me, yes, me, no, I take control, you take control. But they're on the same level because Enma's a demon, literally. It means, like, the Japanese underworld. That's what Enma means. And Zoro is technically a demon deity he's the, what's it called? Not the Buddha. It's not the Buddha. What's it called? Damn it. Ashura. And so they're both like, oh, we're both demons. You're a demon sword, you're a demon man. I can live on the same playing field. It's just a matter of which demon towers on top. And of course it'll be Zoro by the end of the story. But wouldn't it feel kind of cheap that Odin had the sword, imbued it with a lot of haki, and then Zoro gets it, imbues it with some haki, and it turns it into a black blade? At least to me, that's kind of cheap because, I kind of want Zoro to have done it all by himself. It's fine if this happens, but it'd be better if it was Zoro's own sword and his own way, and that's how we turn it into a black blade. Now, I'm not going to go over the Sandai as much as I went over the Enma. I don't think Sandai is going to become a Black Blade because there's no attachment to it at all. At least with Enma, if it turns into a Black Blade, there was setup for it. Sorry. Enma has gone through, it's been passed on by Odin. This is the one that sucks out Haki. If Zoro tames Enma, that's a sign of you truly are a master swordsman. Someone that will be able to become the strongest one day. That's a sign. But with Sandai, yeah, but Zoro already overcame the Sandai. There's no way he hasn't already, because even in Wano, Tenguyama, that's his name. I remember. Tenguyama. It's not Tengu, it's Tenguyama. Tenguyama, once he gives Enma to Zoro and Zoro's training in the bamboo forest, he tells Zoro, last time I saw the Sandai, because guess who crafted it? Tenguyama. The Sandai, last time I crafted it, was a really mean child, but now he looks so much more tame. You really are a strong swordman for doing that. And yeah, as strong as he is, Zoro is on a level playing field with Enma right now in the manga currently, and in the anime he's kind of getting there. And I think he is there in the anime. I'm just gonna assume that. So like, think of it like this: in like a year or so in the One Piece story, of course not in the actual, or not even a couple of months, he'll tower over Enma, and that will truly make him really cool. But him going over the Sandai is like, it's already happened a while back, so who cares? So I don't think Sandai will become a Black Blade. And if it becomes a Black Blade, that means this theory just doesn't work at all, because the only way it becomes a Black Blade is if all three become Black Blade. I refuse to believe that the one Black Blade that he gets is the Sandai and not the Enma or the Wado. Now that we've gone over the two swords that I don't think are going to become a Black Blade, it's pretty obvious which one I think is going to become a Black Blade, and that is the Wado Ichimonji. Now the Wado Ichimonji, even though it's not the most flashy sword, actually it's probably one of Zoro's most bland swords. The Enma has nice streak patterns on it, and it's like a demon, king of hell sword. Sandai's red, on the inside doesn't really have anything cool, but it has like white streaks. But the Wado is just a clean white blade, and that's it. But here's the thing, the Wado is a connection to Zoro. Zoro has had this sword more than like I said at the start of the video, more than the Sandai and the Enma combined. He's had it longer than both those things. Ever since the start, ever since Luffy freed him from those shackles of the cross like Jesus and beat Morgan, he is the first enemy that he cut down was with the Wado Ichimonji. And here's why I think this sword will become a Black Blade, because there's going to be three main factors. One of them I can explain very easily right now. He has connection to the sword. If he makes this sword a Black Blade and then defeats Mihawk with this Black Blade, of course with the help of Enma and Sandai, this blade will be known as a blade given to him by his friend that died, wanting to become a swordsman, a great swordsman, that he achieved for her as well as for himself with the sword. It's kind of like Kuina's right there with him, holding the sword, telling him, Zoro, you did it, man. You did it with my sword. You are truly the greatest swordsman. Now it is your sword. That's kind of what it is. Now, I don't really have to go more into that. You kind of get what I mean with the connection and all. It would tie back into the story when he defeats Mihawk or makes it into a Black Blade. He can have this emotional moments that Oda could be doing, right? It's very simple that way. Now we have the second option, which is probably one of the, I'm going to have to try to convince you really hard, because this is probably one of the hardest ones to convince. But I do have strong points. The Wado is not a weak sword. Because it doesn't look the best, or it's a regular sword, people say. We don't know. It might be a middle grade sword. It's definitely not Saijo Owasamono, but I don't want to say that, because I might eat my heart on next chapter. Oda might be cooking. He's like, Saijo Owasamono, Wado Ichimonji. I don't know. He might do that. He has the pencil. He can do whatever the hell he wants. He could draw Luffy crapping on a toilet the whole chapter, and that's a chapter. Like, what are we going to do about it? The Wado Ichimonji, it's not a weak sword. And I have points for this. The biggest one is when he fought Mihawk. When Zoro fought Mihawk, he didn't have any special blades. He had his Wado Ichimonji and two swords that he held just because there were two katanas, and he is more preferable holding three than one, because he's trained like that his whole life. He's trained his mouth and his two hands to hold all three. So his Wado Ichimonji was on his right, and this is my right, by the way, to you. It probably look like my left or not, I don't know. But he held it in his right, and he thought to himself, okay, this sword I'm gonna fight Mihawk with. He uses his thingy, and then when he clashes with Mihawk, the other two swords break. Not the Wado though, because the Wado has a strong will. Like I said, swords are sentient in One Piece in a way, having its own will. And I think that with the Wado's will of Kuina, and not only that, but with the will of Zoro, with Zoro's will, like, this won't break because I'm gonna become the greatest swordsman with this sword and probably two others, which are really cool swords. And I swear to it, and Mihawk's like, I like this guy, and it cuts him. But think about it for a second. The Wado literally clashed with Yoru, the strongest blade. I'm gonna assume it's just one of the strongest blades in all of One Piece. And it didn't break. That's how insane that is. Of course, we don't know if Mihawk was using his full strength. He wasn't. Let's just be real. It doesn't have to be like, oh yeah, he was, guys. No, he wasn't. No, we don't need confirmation. He was not. But still, that's an insane feat. So the Wado does not break. Now, if you guys don't want to believe that, okay, it was just a hype moment. Sure, you don't want to believe that? Well, I have, well, not proof, but very, 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 very credible evidence. Mr. One versus Zoro. Now, this fight remains as my second favorite fight in all the series. It used to be number one. And sometimes it clashes, sometimes I change my mind, but it used to be number one. But number one is Lucci versus Rob Lucci. The second time they fought in Eni's lobby at the top of the building where Luffy's "Guess I got Linga," and he's like dead, he can't move anymore, he's really tired. That's my first favorite fight. But this fight was amazing. Because this fight, he doesn't have any other sword but one. And that one sword is the Wado Ichimonji. Now, it would tie in full circle when he gets a black blade. Think about it. In this fight versus Mr. One, this is when Zoro was the first person to ever access observation haki, where he could feel, of course, Oda probably did not know what to call it. He didn't know it was haki yet, but Oda had a thing he was brewing up in his head. He was like, I'm gonna foreshadow something just to show people I didn't just pop this out of my ass. He's like, I can sense something. I feel like everything is talking to me because it's life force. That's what haki technically is. It's your life force, your willpower. Like everything is, like an object. That couch over there, my chair, my manga right now. Luffy through this volume right now. This Goku Black right now has willpower and enough haki to probably kill me and destroy Dimension. But I'll just call Zeno and it'll be fine. Zoro, you can tell that when he sensed haki, he did this with the Wado. And then cut down Mr. One and didn't use, well, he did use some haki, but this was him unconsciously using armament haki with observation haki to defeat Mr. One, and that was all with just the Wado, nothing else. So it all tied back full circle, where the first ever time he ever used haki was with the Wado, and the last time, well, not the last time he ever used haki, but the last time he will use haki to that extent on the Wado because it's a black blade now, is when it turns into a black blade. It all ties back full circle. And imagine he does the same thing. Because that was an amazing feat back then when he cut Mr. One, when he was using probably barely any haki, very small slither of it. He cut Mr. One and beat him with his Lion Dance song where it's just a quick strike. Ever played Dark Souls 1? One of my favorite games. Or Neo, I'm very into Soulsborne games. That's why one of my favorite animes, Berserk, because it references in it, yeah, whatever. There's a little move that in Dark Souls 3 where there's this guy with a Uchigatana, which is a katana, and he'll charge it up, and then when you get close enough, he'll slice you. And that was the Lion Dance song, and then when Zoro was done, he puts it back in, he's like, I'm done now. And then he wins. It'd be so cool for Zoro to do that again. It'd be amazing. Now, that was kind of my pitch. I don't see why this theory wouldn't go as planned unless Zoro makes all of his swords black blades. That's the only time I see this theory not working. Of course, he could make Enma a black blade, but to me, at least, it's kind of a letdown. Yeah, Enma's a cool sword, but I would love for the Wado to turn into a black blade. Because think about it, the Enma's already a special sword. It was held by Odin. But not only that, it's already going to be incredibly special because it cut Kaido, as well as it was held by Zoro, the guy that is the vice captain to Yonko, which is gonna become the Pirate King, baby. He's gonna be it's like Rayleigh's swords. Yeah, Rayleigh's sword's not mentioned in the One Piece story, but imagine if someone knew what that was. They'd probably be like, this is Rayleigh's sword. He fought like amazing pirates with this thing. He probably fought Newgate's. He fought Newgate's. I'm saying Newgate like Whitebeard's commanders with this sword. By the way, people don't know he's a swordsman sometimes. He is a swordsman. Yeah, he's a swordsman. He has two swords sometimes. Sometimes he's holding an axe like Scopper Gaban. Similar, Scopper Gaban's axe. The amazing Scopper Gaban's axe. People would kill for Enma. Kill for it. Literally, they would kill someone for Enma. So, this is what I mean. Enma's already an amazing sword held by Odin, as well as Zoro, Kaido, and it's probably going to cut down Shiryu, Mihawk. It's already an amazing sword. And the Sandai is already a cursed blade that, again, will be elevated with Zoro's incredible status, as well as cutting down Mihawk and the enemies that's coming. Like in the recent chapter, I'm not going to spoil because I just got the spoilers. But, like, let's say that Zoro and Luffy and fight the Admirals. The Admirals, yeah. Kizaru was revealed a while back. Let's say Kizaru comes to that and they fight them. The Sandai and the Enma and the Wado clashed with an admiral of the Marines. That is big, people. So this is why I think that the Sandai and the Enma, they're already special. But when the Wado turns into a black blade, it's not just special, the Wado, because of Zoro's lineage. It's also special now being up there with Enma and Thing, being known as one of the greatest swords. Enma, Wado Ichimonji, and the Sandai Kitetsu, while them being all equal swords, maybe the Wado being a bit higher. It'd be like a rags to riches story, but with a sword. That's how cool it'd be. But yeah, that's my theory. I know this was a very long video. I'm gonna cut some parts out, of course. There are some parts where in the middle of this video, I had to go check on the door because my dog wanted to go outside and I had to let him out. But yeah, this video, at least when I'm recording, it's like 40 minutes now that I've been recording. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit this, and yeah, it's gonna take a while. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. If you like more theories, I have a theory coming out. I really want to make a Skypiea video because, you know, I just reread that volume today. I reread this, and like I really am excited to talk about Skypiea. I don't know why, but I just do. Now expect me to make another One Piece video, not soon because I just posted this. After I post this. But expect me to make a One Piece video after this one. Again, either a chapter review because the spoilers, because while you're watching this, the spoilers have come out for me, except not all of them. So I don't know what happens at the end of the chapter. I don't know if it's something huge. Maybe it's just minuscule because I don't do chapter reviews just for every single one. I'll just comment on them sometimes. But if it's a big one, I'll make one. So expect that next time. If not. So yeah. Bye, guys.